Sean. Sean's going to tell us all about what's going on in Texas, and he's from Detroit. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome. I appreciate
Come on, Big Sean. Tell me something.
Okay.
Tell me something good. What is the BIG for?
The BIG stands for Bright Idea Gaming. I have a gaming company that started with me and my daughter.
Okay.
So that's what the BIG stands for.
Okay, so now, you told me you were from Detroit.
What up, though?
Detroit in the house, okay. But you also live in Texas.
Yeah, I live in Dallas, Texas.
So now, guess what? I was looking at a video that your sister brought, Shaun.
Mm-hmm.
She's behind the camera, you guys, right now. So, you know, you already met her. But she showed us a video, and I just was, like, taken aback by the fact that you guys were walking around, and I'm like, hey, who's the camera person? And she was explaining to us how that was working out.
Okay.
But there was this row of people that were in this, it looked like a dock or something, where they all had tables and everybody was passing out food, clothes, and supplies. But we saw you and your daughter pull up with a trunk full of, I don't know what was in the bag, but it seemed like you couldn't see out the back window. So tell us a little bit about that.
So me and my daughter, at the beginning of the year, I started something called the Big Challenge, where I'm a teacher, and I'll take $100 of my own money every month, and then whoever else wants to donate, and we just use that money to help the, they call it the unhoused neighbors, as they call it now, the unhoused neighbors, or, you know, my daughter wants to single out single dads, to help them with something, and just wherever else we could do. Maybe we in line and, I don't know, Starbucks or something. Just pay for people to get something. We just want to do something nice and show my daughter that we can give back. You know. And for that video, it's an organization called Kind Hearts Ministry. Shout out to them. They meet, and it's like 3 or 4 companies out there, nonprofits. What they do is this happens every Saturday in Dallas, downtown Dallas. Every Saturday they meet up. They give out food, they give out clothes. They have people preaching out there, people getting saved out there. So they have a lot of stuff going. This happens every Saturday. So my fraternity, one of my fraternities, we went out there and they do it every 2 Saturdays. And so my daughter, we go out and find where the unhoused neighbors are, and we try to figure out where they at. And so we was just like, we could just partner up with this company and go out there, and we know they're gonna be out there. So we just had trunk full of clothes, the car full of clothes, and we went out there and just gave them. They was happy. That's something they really appreciate. They always ask for socks, shoes, and jackets, cause you know it was the big thing that
weather.
That's the big thing they asked for out there. So it's just something we started, and we just started reaching out with other people, and we actually the first month we got like $200 worth of donations, which is good just from the video. You know,
that's fantastic.
So just showing my daughter something, you know, different.
And
also I'm a teacher, so my students get to see the video, and it inspires them. And you know, I've had parents, they donate clothes to me and stuff now. So it's really a game changer.
Now, this is what I want to ask you. You said you grew up in Detroit. What side of Detroit did you grow up on?
So I went to school, middle school on the west side. But I went to high school. I graduated from Osborne.
All right, and Osborne in the house. All right. So
and I was in the band too. Shout out to the Marching Knights.
All right. Look, congratulations. And that's amazing that, and you know, I tell people all the time, like here in this city, in this town, this county, I want to say where we live, we're from Detroit as well. And I always have this thing where it doesn't matter where you go. I don't care where you've been, where you land. It's about your heart, and wherever and however you've grown up, something in that town where you were, you see something was missing, and that kind of follows you. Even through school, I've been to college and everything, but at the same time, I used to always think the struggles that I had, or the struggles that I would see single fathers and single mothers have, we're collectively are the same. And a lot of times, and even when we're people of color, we are working 20 times to 30 times harder, and we're just as intelligent as the other human beings, but people don't get that often. So it's like it's some kind of way goes over their head. But at the same time, you want to show, I'm just because I'm not like you, that does not mean I don't have a heart of a human being. We're all humans at the end of the day. But coming from Detroit, I saw a lot of change when we were growing up. And I don't want to, too much of my age, but back in the 70s when I got out of junior high school, I would just say it like that. We saw the change in civics books leaving the classrooms. The parents talking about busing, and we were like, busing? Bus where? We live right here in the neighborhood. Why we gotta go somewhere else? But so, we're just involved in the politic part of it because we're kids. We're having a good time. We're enjoying life until that shift came, and to me is where that different experience came about. And it was like, okay, so now why is this area a little bit more giving than another area than where we come from? And so that's where my heart I felt like, okay, I was raised in church and raised to give, and we cooked dinners and we made sure the sick and shut in got fed. We made sure that it was an envelope brought with us, and the mini choir. I ain't gonna say choir because a couple of people came, brought their robes, might have sung a couple of hymns because they were bed bound. And the minister had an envelope for them, and it might have been for gas, light bill, whatever their need was, and it stuck with me. So into adulthood, this is what this is reminding me of. When we came to this town, and I would hear people say, well, they internally they have their own battles, with each other, but I always felt like, and I always say, we all at the end of the day have the same battles. We all want to make sure our children eat. We all want to make sure that those less fortunate, because maybe they didn't graduate from school, maybe they had some challenges, or maybe like they had America Reads for a while. So there were challenges with people who just did not know how to even write their name or read an application. So those kinds of things I see, and the people like yourself that are giving back, even teachers back in the day, we always had those good teachers that we missed, and we can remember their names just like they are still here today. And I can name a few myself, and I'm pretty sure you can too. And then those teachers would make sure they encouraged us. And so I think that's a wonderful thing that you as a teacher, and as a matter of fact, I want to ask, what do you teach?
I teach PE and health.
Okay. And so that way you get to do what in that, because I know you add to it aside from whatever the institution tells you to teach.
Well, the one I just want to, when my students leave, they can have some sense of good mental health, how to prepare and make your mental better, your physical health, make that better, and your social health. Not just you run a mile. We want to know how can I make better decisions. If I go to Chick-fil-A, do I have to get the fried sandwich? No, I can get the grilled sandwich. And just simple things like that, where I even tell them something like, you could do maybe not a full sweet tea, you can do half sweet tea. Just something, those small changes that can help you in the long run. And it does pretty well, because I have a lot of students, once they leave, I still keep up with them. A lot of kids, they graduated college already, they're married, and they keep up with me and they were like, man, I remember when you told me that in school, and I was like, man, I'm making somewhat of a change.
Right. You add some impact to their life, where it carries over to their life and what they give to their family. So, and I understand that, and I love it, because, and even us as adults, and sometimes we were talking to our kids, in psych class, we studied an area where they talked about the kid having a selective hearing.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Like, take out that garbage. And like, okay. Oh, I forgot. Because so but it's really great when we know that those small things. Like, I had some kids one time were asking me some questions, so I just used some of my own story to kind of tell it. And I heard my niece say, "Auntie, another one of your stories again."
You gotta have the stories, though.
So
you gotta have them.
Those stories, they're helping her now. She's a former Marine, but now she's a mom. And she has 4 children. Well, let me see. 1, 2, 3. 4 kids. 4 children. I'm trying to keep up, and every now and then she'll call me. She's like, "Auntie, I am so much like you. Oh my God. I'm budgeting all the time. I'm making sure the kids get extracurricular activity. They're getting brain stimulation. I take those tablets." I'm like, "Really?"
It helps.
She's like, "Yeah, I remember that time you told me it's time to get up." She's like, "You were acting like a drill sergeant. You snatched her coming back. You was like, give me this tablet. Ain't no more screen time. It's time to get up and go to school." So those things, when I hear teachers talk about what they give back, are really wonderful things that kind of stay with us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And it helps us do the things that you're doing right now today.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, who was the person that inspired you the most when you decided to become a teacher, and then as a teacher decided that this business that you're doing in your gaming, that you wanted to take from that and give back?
Well, when it comes to teaching, is my high school band director. He's out here now.
Shout him out.
Jeffrey Smith. He's still out here. He teaches a middle school. I'm sorry, I wish I knew the middle school.
That's
I don't
okay.
have the name right now, but he's still out here. And he's a teacher. He's a member of Kappa Psi, which I'm a member of also. He's a member of Omega Psi Phi, which I'm a member of also.
Okay.
And those things, I didn't internally, like, I didn't want to be a teacher.
Okay.
You know, I didn't go to school for that.
Okay.
But some of those things.
What was your dream career?
Actually, my dream career, if I could do everything, would be an actor.
Okay.
I would love to be an actor.
Well, that doesn't mean that you can't still do
Oh
it.
yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's very true.
You got a lot of classic movies. With good teachers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And he and it's just those things that I guess he instilled in all of us, because I still friends with my high school band members to this day.
Okay.
And it's kind of one of those things that, you go back and look like, oh, he said this or he did this. And then I didn't realize until maybe like last year, I was like, dang, I followed pretty much in his footsteps.
Wow.
When it become a teacher. And it's not something that I was like, he made that much of an impact that I'm going to do it. It just internally, that's what I did. Okay. Because of the impact that he made.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you, do you and the brothers get together and do you guys go around and do some things together and you all shout each other out?
Oh yeah, all the time. He had I came last November, and he had this big band jamboree. It was probably like 10 or 15 bands there.
That sounds good.
It was
here
fun.
In Michigan?
It was here in Michigan. Yeah,
wow,
it was here
really?
in Michigan. Yeah, it was here in Michigan. It was fun. So I try to come back as much as possible. Now I was.
Well, so now let me interrupt you. Yeah. So now if you get some tickets so that you can pass them over.
Oh yeah, no,
I definitely. Staff, so we can come and join it. Because and I'm gonna tell you this. I love when I see like some of the games and things that are coming on. When I see some of the HBCU or some of the bands from up here, they're all getting together, they're doing the marches and the different tricks. And I'm like, man, and I don't know, I get a tingle inside. It's so exciting, and I like music anyway. So, but to see that and know that, like I just said, back in the 70s when we saw those cuts, music was one of the things. The last thing I remember, and this is the third grade, I'm looking at the board and I'm looking at the music symbols on the board, and then the next thing I know, music was gone. So that warms my heart to know that it's still available, still around. I even forced my kids to get in. My daughter band, my niece and my daughter and my son violin, and they were like, well, why we got to do this? Well, it helps your math. Get in there. That was the extracurricular activity, because we didn't get that got cut out. So when it was available, we did it. So I'm really glad that you guys are still able to.
I still talk to them this day.
I'm still glad that you guys are able to still bring that joy and bring that craft, so that other kids can see that it might not be something that they are able to do all the time in their school, but there are people that come from their community that bring it back and give them inspiration, so that when they're going forward, those same things, they can say, hey, how can I what school has the biggest marching band and the cheerleaders and because those are careers as well. And people make money off of those.
And I wanted to say one more thing. I did follow him in another way this is probably the most impactful way. Well, I graduated from Grambling State University.
All right.
Same school he went to.
Same
school. So, and what's crazy about that is he instilled in us to, when the kids before us, they would go off to college and they would come back. And like pull the next kids, like, hey, I'm at this school, you should try to come here. I'm at this school, you should try to come here. And that helps a lot. And I just want to say shout out to the like people like me. I played basketball, but I'm not tall. I'm not about to go to the NBA.
Okay.
I wasn't that fast or anything like that. So band was a way for us kids in Detroit to stay safe, to be honest.
Right.
It was our safety haven.
And you're true. And that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And let me add to that, because it also teaches sportsmanship.
Oh yeah.
It teaches teamwork.
All that.
It teaches you can be competitive, but understand there are some winners and losers, and that doesn't mean not to practice and just try it again. And I try to say that to the kids that we have coming here, aside from the K-Math Peace show that we do, I try to mention that, but you know, it might not fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
And if it does, you know, maybe one of these days these kids reach back. I remember the after school program we used to go to, and I remember seeing an interview on the YouTube and Big Shaun, and he came from here. Y'all go back and check the interview
I'm just
out.
like them. I'm just like them. So.
What did your mom think about her son leaving Michigan and her not being able to?
She didn't like it. She didn't like it at first. So I had a friend. He actually passed. Nickname was Bucky, but his name was Devin.
Sorry.
But no problem. He the one that actually was really pushing me for me to go to Grambling. But long story short, we wasn't as close at the time. But he was down there. He was a little older than me, and he was just like, man, I really think you need to give Grambling a shot.
Okay.
He was just like, if you go down here, he like, this can happen, this can happen, this can happen. And I already had a scholarship to Langston University.
Oh, right.
But he was like, just try it. And I went home and told my mama, I said, I'm going to Grambling. She cried. She was like, you ain't never talked about Grambling before. She was like, you got a scholarship over here. And I didn't have a scholarship or nothing at Grambling.
Okay.
But he was like, I could talk to Smith, I could talk to the people, I could talk to the band directors. He said, he know how good I was. He was like, I promise you come down here. Okay. And I called my granddad. I know my granddad was gonna look out for me.
All right.
And he was in Mississippi. I said,
congratulations,
hey,
grandparents.
I know.
Shout out to grandparents.
Yeah, I said, I need you. I said, I need you to come and pick me up, and I'm trying to go to Grambling. And he said, all right, I'll be there in a week. He came and picked me up all the way from Mississippi, drove me down there on the way to school. I had got accepted into Grambling. Okay. I had got a band scholarship.
Oh,
everything. And this is all from my friend. He just looked out for me.
See, ain't them connections wonderful?
Oh, that's
see, and when I say all the time, people not looking out for each other, when we have to see that just because you live over there and I live over there, and I like I said, I was going back to what I was going to state earlier. I heard somebody call people not from here transplants, and I'm like, yeah, but we all got the same issues all over the world. So like, forget all that, because wherever I come from, wherever you come from, wherever they came from, we all come here, and it's a melting pot of support, and it's a melting pot of ideas. It's a melting pot of creativity. It's a melting pot of giving back wherever we can, whatever our craft is, whatever we may be able to do. You know, I can't do everything. They can't do everything, but we all give a little bit of ourselves, and you don't know how far you could take a person and what they'll be able to come back and give back later on. So it's always good to be open, receptive. It is. That's what I'm happy that, you know, God did have my heart open,
and I was happy that Devin was able to, you know, pull me to the side, and he just let me know, man, I believe in you.
And I know your mother proud of you right now.
Oh yeah,
I know she be bragging.
Once I got down there and did everything, it was good to go.
Oh, I bet she be on the phone, girl. My baby a teacher, and my baby Shalia. My kids.
And I need to tell my mom she got all my band suits. I need my wind stuff. I need
my
wind
Go ahead,
suits
look at the camera. Tell her, say
I need every wind suit that I had.
Okay.
I'm like, she got all my stuff.
But see, that's okay. That's how moms do it. You know, we our trophy show. We gotta show it off. You know what I'm saying? That's mine, and too, you know, of course, your wife come along. But that's mine, and then look at my baby did. And so when people come over visit, like, so where that trophy come from? Oh, that one as tall as you, girl. And so you get them bragging rights, and that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So your minister that supported you in Detroit, and then pastor who gave you that support, and then when you got to leave Michigan, did you ask them, so I'm going to be transitioning, what church that's affiliated here can I transfer to there?
Well, actually, when I was in Detroit, we didn't grow up in the church.
Okay.
We you know, believe in God and stuff like that. But I didn't go to church consistently until I got saved at 25, 26 when my daughter was born.
Okay.
And then now we found the new church, Shoreline City out there in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, shout out Shoreline City.
Yeah, I'm an usher at the church.
Okay.
I've been going consistently about 2 years now.
Okay.
My daughter is involved.
All right.
So everything's finally where because I was at other churches, and I was, you know, serving at other churches, and it was just good. But sometimes, you know, the Lord just tell you to move around. But this is
so
this
you find
the place.
your home, and when your heart feel comfortable, that's where you stay.
And this is where I'm at now. So shout out to Shoreline.
Shout out Shoreline.
Yeah.
So I want to get back, and before we close, to Big Shaun.
Okay.
What's the name of your? Is that the gaming platform as well?
Yeah. So if you the gaming platform, I'm on. What's that? Like Twitch, Instagram, YouTube. I try to drop. I don't want to put a schedule, but I do YouTube videos and all that. But it's BIGShaun313.
BIGShaun313. I want to ask you, what are you teaching the kids while you're gaming? You're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
You're having a good time. Do you give them pointers and do?
Oh yeah. So also my content is PG-13 because I'm not trying to get fired.
Okay.
As a teacher.
Gotta do that.
Yeah. You know. So
made for kids.
Yeah. So I don't want to get in trouble with that way. But just. So when I do my gaming videos, that's something I do solo videos and I do videos with my daughter Bright.
Okay.
And
that's fantastic.
Yeah, we do.
Her support.
Oh yeah,
you get to show her the way to go.
So we actually started getting into streaming and making YouTube videos. It's a really big YouTuber out there named Corey Kenshin. He's from Detroit actually.
Okay.
And she was like, looking at this guy, checking him out, and she was like, we can do this. This was 5 years ago, something like that. I'm like, girl, I'm not doing that. But she got me. She said, well, we
Dad,
can. Yeah, she said we can spend more time together.
There you go, like, Dad. There you go. Oh, she got
whatever you need, whatever you need.
Okay.
And she got me. So,
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
she got it, and then now we do our videos, and I'm also doing the give back videos.
Okay.
So that's what we do it every month, and we wanted to come back to. I've never done anything by myself to give back to Detroit. Okay. The place that made me, that raised me.
Right, and I sure asked your sister Shalia. I was like, "Do you think your brother want to come over here and do something for us, for the kids?" And maybe, and she's like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe you can ask him." So will you? Maybe,
for sure.
It might be impromptu right now, but maybe
no, I want to because I never. This is my first time giving something back.
Okay.
And we're gonna actually, when we leave here, we're gonna go to Walmart. We're gonna buy some supplies, and tomorrow morning, sometime, I don't know what time, but we're gonna go out. I have a high school friend that I was a part of, Phi Kappa Psi. They was like, I asked them in the group text like, hey, where's some spots where we can go out and hand these supplies out? So they told us maybe somewhere like downtown. So we're gonna go ahead and do that.
Okay, that'd be great.
And I actually got a single father in mind. We might try to pay his light bill.
Okay.
You know
what? That'd be awesome.
We
You're gonna make him cry.
Hey,
but he gonna not try to cry on camera.
Oh yeah.
How
that's my homie. We went to high school together.
Okay.
And so we wanna. I got about I think like $400 to spend.
All right.
So we just give it out. Crazy.
Look, I like that, and just over the wall you'll see it says Better Mental Health Fund Day.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it all started because Charles Talent House, Chuck the Plug, they call him Macktown. He got a bunch of names. He was helping some of the youth around here in the community do videos and different things, and I used to tell him all the time, well, God is not going to let anything else go forward until we meet the obligation to give how we should to our children. And because we've seen a lot, kids, out of mind is the devil's workshop, so they're going to get busy doing whatever they want to do, and then you ain't going to be able to say nothing once they go away, but we can pull them back in with letting them know that somebody care, and especially after the COVID, there was an incident that happened to our grandson that really hurt me, and I felt like instead of being angry, instead of going around talking about who I'm gonna beat up or whatever, because that's really negative, and I just I wasn't feeling that. I want to do something where people, since they're not thinking about the kids, let's do something for the kids. He's like, well, whatever. We got some health department support, and what do you want to do? Well, I want to do it back to school, Better Mental Health Day, where we bring in the health department, we bring in people from the hospice mental health support books. They had the youth health corner here in Ipsy, where they passed out things for teens, and I wanted the new national hotline for suicide to be announced.
Okay, yeah.
So I decided I wanted that printed on the back of the t-shirts. That was the first one. Okay, so the whole thing was, if they're doing all these things in other cities and states, what are we going to do here in this county? Because people keep saying, oh, this is the richest county around, but just because it's rich, it does not mean there are no low income, there are underserved people that exist. There are people at truck stops sleeping in their cars. It's in the wintertime, they're sleeping outside in parking lots, and there are homeless families. There there was a family living in their van by the gas station we frequented all the time, and it just, every time I went there, it just bugged me, and I could not take it. And I just stopped the lady. I was like, why are y'all sleeping in the van? Oh, well, because this. Well, hold on. Let me make some phone calls and see what we can get you some help with. And then I called the local pastor that we team up with and got a big old food box. And the people in the gas station were like, hey, they can come over our house for Thanksgiving. Got a couple of boxes, sent it, they took a couple of turkeys, food, and she was like, you know, we brought blankets, connected them to another church. They got them a hotel room, so they didn't have to, because one of the babies was sick and the other one was in the hospital. So those kinds of things, like I said, it don't matter where we come from. Those are very inspiring stories, and I hope that Big Shaun keeps it up. With big ideas and bright ideas, and I hope that, and even if you can't come back anytime soon, come back and visit and tell us what else you've been doing, and give out some more ideas, because maybe it'll pick up momentum in other places.
That's what the goal is.
Big Shaun is in Texas, y'all. So just know, just because he came from Detroit and he's out there, hey, I'm from Detroit, but I'm over here, and there are a lot of other people that have traveled to other places. Show y'all love to people. Give support. Don't be mean. Don't walk away. If you got a little couple of dollars extra change, somebody sitting at the store, don't turn like he should go get a job. She should go get a job. Hey, if you got it, give it to him. What else you gonna do with it? You gonna probably buy some snacks and junk yourself. You know, some hot potato chips. Like Big Shaun said, you need to be eating healthy anyway. I appreciate your interview. I appreciate this being such short notice for you.
I appreciate it.
If you got some other stations, some other shout outs, some other call outs, and even Shalia, we want to know where she's located.
Okay. So check me out at BIGShaun313 on all social media platforms. I'm a part of a DJ group back out in Dallas, Texas that DJ Bowtie started. Check us out on all social media platforms. It's called Sip and Sing. It's about 8 DJs in this group, and we doing stuff around the city also. We do DJ with the live band and all that.
So that sounds nice.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah, we do it big out there. Shout out to my students. Shout out to my sister, Shaun.
Shout out your name of your school too, and shout out her website.
All right, the school I work at is Alex Sanger Preparatory in Dallas, Texas.
All right.
I have a good relationship with everybody in and around that community, so I'm you know, my kids know what time it is. I believe in y'all, and I want y'all to do really, really big things, no pun intended. And I know, right?
Pun was intended, but okay, I got you.
I think that's if I forget somebody, I'm sorry. But I really appreciate y'all for even having me on here. You know?
You know what? And I'm grateful for you doing this at such short notice, because I did ask her last week, do you think he'll mind an interview? Because we want to shout him out. And I like what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Y'all check his video out. It's really inspiring.
Thank y'all.
This is K-Man for Peace. Y'all have a good day. And stay tuned next week.